All right, Courtney Parker, we are live.
This is crazy. What is this? Part 3 or 4?
Right. I think it's part 3 actually. So we'll give a beat until we get everybody in, since this is sort of like an emergency episode based on the news that just occurred recently. But Courtney, you're looking great.
Thank you. I got my little getting ready to go on vacation.
You are.
Look, gonna be on an island, not Love Island. But
you're gonna be on an island, honey, but it's not Love Island.
It's not gonna be Love Island, and I'm not gonna be committing any crimes that I'm gonna mention on this live.
Don't commit any crimes, Courtney, because your credibility will be shot. All right, so we got the raindrops in the building. Thank you guys for hopping on. I mean, we're already started. We're 1 minute in. We got over 300 people in the chat. Look, thank y'all so much. I know it's last minute. Courtney and I were taping an episode that you guys will hear soon. But listen, one thing about Courtney Parker and I as co-hosts of reality crime stories is the fact that things happen every single day. And as two journalists, hey, Porsha, we're like, we have to talk about the goings and the comings of everything that has been occurring. So, Courtney Parker, are you ready to talk about the madness that seems to be never ending with Mr. Gobadia?
Listen, it's going to end with reconciliation. This is my prediction.
I don't think so. Okay, you go, girl. You go.
Listen, reconciliation. They are just gearing up for you to produce their third or fourth nuptials and marriage. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Courtney Parker,
listen. This is part 4. This is part 4, Carlos King. Just when we thought it was over with Simon and Porsha, Simon says he's about to sue. So, and for 500K for comments he's suing. So my prediction, raindrops, support me, help me out. I think this is the ideal storyline for a reconciliation relationship. I could be delusional, but I don't think so. It's too calculated.
I think you are being delulu like Drew Sidora's song or her album, I Did It to Me. Okay, so raindrops. This is the first live episode of Reality Crime Stories. As you know, for the past couple of weeks, we are tapping into the true crime space as it relates to reality stars. I got my guest co-host, well, not guest, she's a co-host, excuse me. I got my co-host, Courtney Parker, who is not only an executive producer, she and I work together on the Hollywood Divas, The Next 15. She also is a true crime expert because her tutelage includes working on Law and Order. And you know, one thing about Black folks, we love Law and Order. We watch it every day, especially on the weekends. She has worked under Dick Wolf, the legend. She also worked on Fatal Attraction, which is my favorite TV One series as well, including Oxygen Snap. So Courtney Parker is the perfect co-host for this show because she knows not only the ins and outs of being a reality executive producer, she also knows the ins and outs of true crime and the legal jargon that really has us understanding the legal language in this space. So with that being said, we got Ty Campbell. Okay, so Ty Campbell is asking who is suing who. So let's get right into it. Simon is apparently suing Porsha for defamation. So raindrops, this news just occurred late last night where Porsha's ex Now it's official. Her ex-husband, Simon Gubadia, is demanding $500,000 judgment over erectile dysfunction post. So raindrops, this is what's going on. Last year, okay, because we like to do our research. Last year, Porsha made a post where it was a black screen and it had ED. Okay. And I'm being very honest. And Courtney, we're gonna go line by line when it comes to what happened in the series of events chronologically. Okay, so let's do that. Sometime last year, Porsha posted ED. Okay, right. Just ED. So raindrops. I'm being honest here. ED is Ed. So I thought to myself, is she calling somebody Mr. Ed? Is she saying somebody looks like a horse? Is she saying she's a stallion like Megan? Like, are we riding donkeys, mechanical bulls? Like, what's going on? True story. That was my first reaction. I'm like, I don't get it. Who is Ed? Is it Ed McMahon? Like, what's going on, right? So then, Courtney, I'm at lunch with my homegirls. And my homegirls were like, you saw what Porsha posted? And I said, yeah, like, who's Mr. Ed? Right? Look, Lady Rowe is saying Carlos. I'm being honest.
Right.
No, I'm being honest. I'm like, I don't know what that means, right? Yes, rest in peace, Ed McMahon. Okay. So my homegirl said, I think Carlos is erectile dysfunction. I said, you think so? Like, in the words of Porsha, who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I didn't say that. So then, Courtney, after that occurred, because I can't wait to get Courtney's reaction to this. Simon posted afterwards, the next narrative has arrived. Erectile dysfunction, in parenthesis, ED. Hashtag wife for the streets. So I said, he's saying erectile dysfunction. She did not say that. He also said, Courtney, the narrative changed from imminent deportation and fleeing the country to Dubai to broke and selling luxury cars, waiting for next narrative. Hashtag story keeps changing. Courtney, one more, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Porsha then in her stories posted hashtag men's health awareness. Things you can do to help with erectile dysfunction. Number 1, lose weight if you're overweight. Number 2, stop smoking. Number 3, eat a healthy diet. Number 4, exercise daily. Number 5, try to reduce stress and anxiety. And Porsha, who's a journalist, cited her sources with www.nhs.uk, which are the conditions of erectile dysfunction, impotence. Last thing that was posted was Simon saying, if I didn't allow witches in my life, my angel would not have to work so hard. So Courtney, I want you to tell me your thoughts. When you saw that ED, were you like me and was thinking horses, or did you immediately know what it was about?
Immediately I knew what she was talking about. And listen, to take us, everybody knows a good sub when you see one. And this was no different. That's why I'm like, ED is erectile dysfunction. And it's at a time where they were throwing shots at each other. So they were back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So for her to just put simple ED, he knew what was coming. And she knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing. Drink beet juice.
I'm sorry. Wait a second. In the words of Carlos King, let's have a real conversation. So Delaney McDonald said, drink beet juice. Now, I are you saying the lean if I got your name right, child, that drinking beet juice helps with erectile dysfunction? Courtney, I don't know anything about that, honey. I'm good underneath my hood. So is that
Yes, no, there are holistic approaches that men can take, which is exactly why, like, your raindrops already know, Carlos. Your raindrops know. So I'm so confused as to how you did not know. And Porsha knew exactly what she was doing by simply black screen ED. He knew, that's why he was like, okay, here's the narrative we're on. Then for her to post men's health awareness going into a WebMD page, breaking down specifically what beating my, I love your raindrops. Like they're like
the raindrops are the best in the business. This is no cap, no shade. I love everybody. Nobody to me is more in tune, funnier, educated, well versed,
well
gangsta than the
versed.
raindrops. Go ahead, Courtney. Go ahead, baby.
But yeah, like we knew what she was doing. He knew. The sad reality is how he knew. Why he knew. It could be alleged that they had actual experience and this was a private moment that she's now making public. But for her to say it, yes, Porsha was throwing subliminals. I agree, Lady Rowe. I agree. Like she was throwing subliminals, she was throwing shots, and to do that during their very contentious breakup, yeah, that's what she was doing. That's what
okay. But okay, so this is the thing. Porsha first wrote ED.
Mm-hmm.
Then Simon himself elected to be the first person to add a name on it and say fully erectile dysfunction. So my question for you is this. He is suing Porsha for $500,000 for defamation. Courtney, so there's so much to read that let's just get right into it. Okay. Simon's lawyer alleged that these posts were intentionally crafted to imply that he suffers from this condition, casting him in a negative and humiliating light. The nature, timing, and context of these posts amidst the couple's public separation led reasonable viewers to infer that her statements were referring to Simon because they were.
They were. Now you said something interesting before, like hit dogs holler.
Yeah.
And again, that can be true. But she knew exactly what she was doing. Porsha just said ED. Simon raised his hand. Yes, but again, she was throwing shots. It wasn't like they weren't having exchanges. So we have to look at the intent and the premeditated intent. If we're looking at it from a scope of true crime, law, legal standings, parameters, she did it while exchanging remarks about one another. So how would he not assume that ED, and then to go on to say, how do men deal with erectile dysfunction? How do they feel when they're experiencing erectile dysfunction? She didn't list anybody else. She never came out and said, hey, I'm not talking about you. She knew exactly what she was doing, and he took the bait explicitly.
But I'm with Mackenzie. I would have said ED stands for ending divorce. Now look. Yes.
That's clever.
That's very Mackenzie, flowers to you, sis. So look, I'm with Mackenzie. If I write ED, did not put a name on it, you elected to put a name on it. Now, Porsha did add some hot sauce to it, some Lori seasoning salt, by describing erectile dysfunction, but She still never put a name on it. So, Courtney, in terms of your expertise in all things true crime, is this a crime considering she never said his name first? He did. Yes, they were going through a cycle, but in the sheer definition of the legal case, does Simon have a case based on this alone?
Absolutely. This is defamation. This is defamation. And I was asked about this when we decided to talk about this. I'm going to use an example of like Mike Tyson. The average person who is not a public figure can't use words and posts to weaponize against somebody else that is not a public figure. So if I'm just talking to my homegirl Nene and I'm saying, hey, my soon-to-be ex-husband, because they were still married, legally, their divorce was just final. So when you're making posts and allegations while separating or going through what we now know was a contentious divorce, throwing accusations at that while you're legally married, it's not like they weren't married. They were both public figures. She has and is on a huge platform where her words are scrutinized, her words are taken seriously. Any accusations you make in that public forum against somebody else who is a public figure, that is defamation 101. If I'm Mike Tyson and I get into a bar brawl with someone, my fists are legal weapons. I've knocked so many people out. My hands are considered lethal and weapons. And so I can't go into a bar fight as Mike Tyson and do the kind of damage that legally my hands are considered weapons and not be charged with assault with a deadly weapon. Because he is a professional boxer that has knocked people out, caused severe damage because his profession allows him to use his fists are now weapons. She is weaponizing her words while going through a separation and a divorce. If you're throwing these kind of allegations because you're going through a divorce and a split about, even if she didn't say it, it's implied. The implications of it being the man she's talking about, the reason she's talking about erectile dysfunction is because of her husband or her soon-to-be ex-husband. That's why this has some grounds. That's why this has some standing. I doubt very seriously that this won't be taken seriously in a court.
So, okay. So in the court documents, I want to say this because, again, I like to make sure I give all sides to the story. In the court documents, Simon argued that Porsha's posts were presented in a factual manner that implied he had ED and were clearly intended to cast him in a negative and humiliating light. For the record, the lawyer did write that Simon, in case you all care, the lawyer did say that Simon does not have ED and has never suffered from or been diagnosed with this condition. They are claiming that Simon suffered emotional distress and personal anguish due to the Instagram post made by his ex-wife. In the suit, guys, he added, by making these claims in a public forum, Porsha ensured their immediate and widespread dissemination, amplifying the harm to Simon's credibility and social esteem. So Simon is alleging, Courtney, that these allegations caused him emotional distress and did harm to him personally. Now, with that being said, does that indicate that he feels this is a situation in which it could have prevented him from like dating, or because this isn't a business? I mean, let me ask you, is this something that could affect his business? That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, because if his integrity is being attached, here's the thing: lies are loud. And it doesn't matter if if it's not the truth, and he can prove through medical documents that he has never suffered. Like, it's getting into his personal business, and when you get into people's personal business, yes, it can affect his professional business as well, because when people should be talking about the merit of who this man is as a businessman, they're now caught up in the fluff of what this rumor is about him. And she did it in such a public way on a public platform. I could say that it causes him and Simon grief simply off the strength of he doesn't want people talking about something that is not true, that attacks his character, his manhood. It's not just about him going after new women or, new potential girlfriends or lovers. It's about the fact that people are now talking about him in a derogatory way, and that can interfere with some of his professional relationships and businesses. Yeah, absolutely.
So the thing is this: the thing
that follow you, Carlos. Think about the rumors that follow you, like those grade school rumors.
Yeah.
That if you have the locker talk, they're one of my favorite series right now is Forever. Mara Braca Kills Forever. She did that. It was all based off of a rumor. When you watch that show, that little girl was assumed to have sex. That was videoed. We found out and discovered later, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen the series.
Don't spoil it for the people, Courtney.
It wasn't the extent that we thought it was, but it caused such emotional distress that the little girl had to leave school, all of these things. So imagine if you are a businessman as prominent as Simon may think he is or portray himself to be, and this is a conversation. We don't know. I personally have my own thoughts because I think all of this is going to lead them back down the aisle. I said that from the beginning.
There is no way on God's green earth that they are getting. Listen, I have a better chance of marrying Porsha, my crush, than them getting back together. I don't see a raindrops. Let me know in the chat. There is no way in the world that I see this. But tell me why, Courtney Parker, you feel so strongly that they will get back together.
I feel strongly because I am a story-driven person. Like, true crime is finessed in a way. Crime stories are finessed in a way that you have a hero, you have a villain, you have a victim. And the way that this thing is panning out couldn't be. This is when reality TV is not scripted, but you're like, I couldn't have written this any better myself. Like, they just got a divorce. She was just awarded a settlement. Like, I've never seen two people who claim to not care about each other anymore go at it so passionately over every little thing, because it's easier for Simon to just go away. You're deported. You claim on your Instagram or on your social media that you're living your best life. Why bring this back into the fold? Why? She just did her waiting to exhale moment in People magazine. Like, I've never seen two people who are dying to get away from each other work so hard to maintain a story of them together. Like, what are you doing? Just go into your own private corners and lick your wounds if you actually have them. I don't think they have them. I think they're going to get back together.
Okay.
I do.
Baby. Okay, listen, I vehemently disagree with that, but I wanna ask you this, Courtney, because again,
Yep.
I want to talk about the specifics of what he is saying.
Yeah.
Simon's lawyer argued that these posts simply provided information regarding a common condition and alleged that with Porsha using hashtag men's health awareness to
Yep.
draw awareness to the information that may help some of defendants social. I'm sorry. I want to retract that and really talk about what this was. Okay. This is how Porsha's lawyer responded. So, raindrops, I'm going to repeat this again. What I'm now about to read to you all is
Porsha's
lawyer's response to it. They are demanding that this be thrown out of court. Okay. Porsha's lawyers wrote this in response, raindrops. None of Porsha's posts refer to any particular individual, let alone Simon specifically. Porsha cannot and should not be held liable for sharing information regarding a common condition that likely plagues many of Porsha's social media followers. For this reason, and the reasons detailed herein, this court should dismiss Simon's complaint in its entirety. Porsha's lawyer argued these posts simply provide information regarding a common condition, and Porsha even uses men's health awareness as a hashtag because she wanted to draw awareness to the information that may help some of her social media followers.
So here's what she's going to have to prove. She's going to have to prove. I mean, if you listen to that just in its entirety, in all sincerity, why? Porsha is not a doctor. She's not a nurse practitioner. She is nothing in the medical field. She is not an advocate for erectile dysfunction. She has not expressed within her storyline that her father, her any male in her life was suffering from this. It's not been a part. So it comes out of the blue while you're separating from your then husband. So, I mean, this sounds really good. All the legal jargon sounds amazing, but the reality is this is a shot. And it's stuck. It's stuck. Like you're saying, so produce the receipts, which they all have, right? Of somebody coming to Porsha to say, hey, what's your advice on erectile dysfunction? She didn't have ED with prayer hands. She knew what she was doing. And so what they'll have to do is prove that her intent for these posts were not malicious. And what he has to do is prove that they were. And I think in this particular case, Simon can prove from the series of posts that preceded it and the series of posts that came after it that she was talking and directing these posts towards him. That's going to be the easier thing to claim. If we're just talking legally, the parameters of this case, it's not. They're going to have to prove intent, and they're going to have to prove, Simon's team is going to have to prove harm. So if she's saying, I bet you think this song was about you, Joni Mitchell, and it wasn't, she's going to now have to say, well, who was this about? And do you have a history of giving medical advice or support to people who suffer from erectile dysfunction? Again, all providing context for Simon's real claim of she was talking about me. She was dead wrong. I need $500K.
So this is the thing, though. A lot of the raindrops in the chat are fired up, and they have tons of commentary. Raindrops, I see you. Happy Friday. He's demanding $500,000. And a lot of the raindrops who also went to the Law and Order University School as well, they all feel like Simon allegedly asking for $500,000 is because allegedly that's the money he has to pay her. So based on the judgment of their divorce being finalized, do you think that the $500,000 is a way of breaking even for the money that he allegedly once you accumulate have to pay her
40K a month? Maybe. Again, if he's nothing else, Simon is savvy. Like it doesn't matter. I finally caught the line. Hey, Carlos, check. Hey, Alabama. But even if that is true, again, what I'm assuming they're paying in legal fees this is really not about the money. This is about to keep the conversation going. Like, Porsha's got it, Simon's got it. This is not in layman terms, $500,000 is a lot. 40K a month is a lot. She makes more than that with Real Housewives. He is a successful businessman. So to me, this is not necessarily about the money. It's about the vindication and it's about the victory. They want to
wait. Hold on. Let's have a conversation. And this is us two squirrel friends talking, right? Do you honestly think Simon creating this lawsuit of defamation has to do with what he put in the legal document when he filed it to clear his name? Or do you think this is another attempt of him trying to get at Porsha?
I think it's personally amongst us friends. I think it's a little bit of both. Like, it's almost like a one-up of each other. Nobody can deny her people spread was iconic. Her recreating Waiting to Excel behind with the rollers, behind the black car, behind with the flames, and all of that was Porsha's last word. So we could have deaded this entire conversation of the Porsha and Simon saga with that moment. Her crying in the interview or being tearful in the interview saying, I'm just off love for a second and I don't know how to date, and all the things that she alleged was her mahogany moment for me. And Simon is like, not too fast, because again, you've already got me deported. It's
allegedly, because Porsha, for the record, Porsha has denied any involvement calling ICE.
She has. So part 1 of Reality Crime Stories with Carlos King and Courtney, we got all into that. So if we believe the allege and assumptions that she didn't, no matter what, he got deported. Deported. It doesn't hit the same when you're sending pictures from Dubai, when you're sending pictures from Africa. It's not the same. So if you're craving the celebrity and you want to literally have the last word, this is his attempt to keep his name in all of our mouths, which he is successfully doing right now.
Yeah, okay. So to sum things up, Raindrops, what's happening now is this, okay? Simon is seeking $500,000 for, this is what Simon's alleging in the court document. So Courtney Parker and Raindrops, listen up. Simon told the court he will be seeking $500,000 for lost business opportunities and sponsorships. In addition, he will also be seeking unspecified general damages for harm to his reputation, emotional distress, and humiliation. Now, how, this is my, I have a question.
Yep.
I'm trying to find the through line and the attachment to the allegation of alleged ED and how that can affect your business.
Again, it's defamation.
No, I know, but again, the correlation between alleged ED affecting you at work as you're doing business sponsorships, are you able to explain to me how those two can relate to each other?
Again, it's the word defamation in its entirety. Like if I create a narrative and say Carlos King is impossible to work with, that can be further from the truth, because all of my experiences have been wonderful with you. But if somebody says Carlos King is a tyrant, when you're going into other business dealings, instead of talking about the merit of who Carlos King is and the plethora of opportunities that you've created for me, myself, other Black people, they're now talking about this one rumored of you being a tyrant or you being difficult. It doesn't matter what the term was. It's the intention to drive a narrative, a false one, according to Simon, that is a distraction. So ED is now on the mouths of everyone, including us. We're talking about ED, erectile dysfunction, and we're assuming and associating ED now with Simon.
But if I'm in a business meeting, Courtney, if I'm in a business meeting and someone put this on Twitter that the person I'm meeting with has ED, this is my opinion. Yeah. As Carlos King, the businessman, whether your performance in the bid room doesn't indicate your performance in the boardroom. And that's the thing that I'm trying to find a correlation, because I understand that if somebody says like, you're impossible to work with, you're a tyrant, you're this, you're that, I get all that. I find it, I personally, this is my opinion, I'm not a lawyer, but I find it hard to correlate the assumption that your performance or lack thereof in the bid room has anything to do with your performance in the boardroom.
And it doesn't. But if you're viewed now as a distraction because of this divorce, it takes away some of your professional appeal, because I don't want to be I don't want to do business with someone that's involved in so much mess. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's about,
I see. Okay.
It doesn't matter about his performance in the bedroom or his performance in the boardroom. She has created a conversation and a narrative that have people talking. So if I go into my venture capitalist meeting and I'm looking for an investor, and an investor has to even ask me, hey man, I read about the headline over your defamation case. It's now created a cloud of what people think about me. And he didn't necessarily do it to himself. You got to think professionally. I don't want anybody. It's embarrassing, particularly for a man, when you attack his manhood. So if somebody who knows nothing about Simon, and they're looking at, I'm getting ready to get into business with this man, and I Google him or I do research on him, this is the thing that's going to come up: erectile dysfunction. And now I have to sue to prove that my wife at the time, my ex-wife now, was a reality star creating a reality TV narrative to keep her storyline, her popularity thriving. She used her public forum to diminish my name in any sense, whether it's true or not. People are now gonna, if someone comes in and says, hey, are you okay? Hey, if they make a joke about him, locker room talk, if they make a joke about him and say, whatever. If he does get into a business agreement and dealings with other women, we all watch the show. We're all sitting there saying, and that could be just enough to make him feel insecure about something that he alleges is just not true. So it becomes a distraction, which people in business can say legally, you seem like a nice person, but what comes with you, these rumors, these antics, this deportation, all of the things that surrounded him while he was married to this very public figure and reality star, is now interfering with his business.
Hi, Thelma.
Thank you, Thelma. That's what I'm saying. Like, all said and done.
No, hey, Thelma. One thing about my raindrops, this is why I love them so much.
Right.
I think I have the only supporters who read me. I'll just be like, okay, no. Hey, Thelma Grant. Thelma Grant said, Carlos, I love you, but open your eyes and hold Porsha accountable for something, all the bad things she does. I'm with Courtney 100%. Listen, I always hold Porsha accountable for things. I'm the one who said she was wrong for meeting with Ralph. I'm the one who said, when she was with Shamia and with the forks and knives, I'm like, that was dismissive, Porsha. So I do. In this particular case, Thelma Grant, hey baby, how are you? Happy Friday. Thelma Grant, I'm trying to find the correlation in terms of, listen. My Charlotte Ebony K. Williams, I also attended the Ebony K. Williams School of Law. So Thelma Grant, all I'm trying to do is find the correlation between the ED defamation and loss of business. That's it. Right. And I was honest by saying, when I saw the post initially, I thought Mr. Ed, and I thought we were riding horses, stallions, and mechanical bulls. But that's just me. Now, Courtney, this is what another raindrop says. She did a super chat. V said, another Porsha hater. This dude stayed on social media talking about her. So V believes, Courtney, you are a Porsha hater. There's people in the chat, Courtney, who believe you are hating on Porsha. And are you on Simon's payroll?
I am not. And if I were on Simon's payroll, I would confirm and not deny if the ED was real. But I'm not. When we're looking at it, that's why I use the analogy of, is this case sufficient? Can it be thrown out? And I'm like, people have to understand, in their using their very public forums, create an atmosphere to where there are consequences for one's actions. And in this case, I'm ready for the saga of Porsha and Simon to end. I personally think she should have had her moment. Not a Porsha hater. She should have had her moment and rode off into the sunset to Brandy or Mary J. Blige music from the original score of Waiting to Excel. That was the nail in the coffin for me. She looked great. It was awesome. But he is not wanting her to win or have the last word. And rightly so, because this stuff really did happen to him. Now, whether I personally believe that this is stuff we should even be talking about, like I said, this is part 4 for Carlos and I on the Simon and Porsha saga. This is a story that will never end, and I'm here for it. However, does he have a legal case of defamation? He absolutely does. Does she have to be more careful with how she uses her words, her platform, to throw shade at situations that are real, especially dealing with someone as astute as Simon, who is just like, he's ready. Yeah, she has to just be careful. But legally, he has a case. I'll be very surprised if this gets thrown out, because he doesn't have to prove how this affected his business. all he has to say is she said she threw a post. She made a post about me. I feel like it was aimed at me. It was during a time where we were separated. If we're just looking at legal facts, it was at a time where we were separating, and she had been. There's proof that they had been going at each other. And now he's like, I don't, whether he wants to pay the 40K, and that's the exact amount, the $500,000 sums up to. When it's all said and done, he has a case, and she did it. And so she's going to have to prove the intent behind why she made it. She's going to have to prove it. Her lawyers made a statement, but now she's going to have to prove it if this case moves forward. Or she can settle it and just be done. It's only for $500K, which is, Tiffany, you're absolutely right, which is
but what they're saying, Courtney, is 40K over 15 months is only 500K. So listen, yeah. So Raindrops, we will be diving more into this as more materializes, but we had to do this emergency reality crime stories episode. As you know, we drop every one of these either on Thursday or Friday. So instead of pre-recording this, we wanted to hop on a live. We just decided to do this afternoon. Thank you all so much for coming on. Y'all are very opinionated today in the chat.
I love it. I love it.
And you guys are very opinionated. I am here for it.
We're going to be back.
Okay, Sunny Christian said, I'm a lawyer. That statement is false. Okay, Sunny Christian, thank you for joining. Look, we're going to talk more about this, but Raindrops, every week, our new series, Courtney and I new series, Reality Crime Stories, where we will talk about crime as relates to reality stars. And today's episode focused on what we discovered late last night, which is Simon is suing for defamation for $500,000. Right. Okay. All right. So we'll see you guys next week. Make sure you guys check us out every weekly. Also on the audio as well. We'll be dropping this episode too. And again, Reality Crime Stories weekly recap with co-host Courtney Parker, who, as you all know, is very opinionated, but she is an expert when it comes to true crime based on her amazing resume in this field. So, Courtney, is there anything you want to say to the Raindrops before you head off to vacation this weekend?
No, just tune in, like, subscribe, and follow us. More to come, more to come.
Yes, and you guys can follow Courtney on Facebook and Instagram as CP Star Writer. Again, as CP Star Writer. So follow her on Instagram and let her know what you're thinking.
And let us know if we'll be airing the third wedding special of Porsha and Simon reunited.
Not happening at all. Not happening at all. Raindrops, I love you all. Have a great weekend. Love and Marriage Huntsville season 10 premieres tomorrow, 8 o'clock, 7 Central on Love and Marriage Huntsville tomorrow, Saturday, July 19th at 8 o'clock, season 10 premiere. I'll see you guys on the next one. Love you, Raindrops. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there and stay out of trouble. All right. Bye.